Hi, welcome. We are working on our Carly system. So this is going to be the SSD just for the project to build your own, ArchLinuxIso. So we are going to follow and make also articles on ArcoLinuxIso.com. There's the website. Here's going to be the overview of what we do, and we have already devised the name. So we dubbed the Carly customized ArchLinuxIso, and we've written down some of the thoughts that were in our mind, what and how and what's the intention, and so on. Will make more a structure in the future. So Carly, that's could be our logo. We'll see. It's a C. All these colors stand for something. ArcoLinux, ArchLinux, Tux, the little feet from Tux, the penguin, and the color of an ISO itself. So we're going to make tutorials how to build an ISO from scratch. It's for ArchLinux people, so don't try it on Debian or whatever. It's based for, or the intention is that you build it on an ArchLinux system. So ArcoLinux is gonna work as well. The first thing we need to do is, get to know one particular application that's called an ArchIso application. And the ArchIso has a page, an ArchWiki page, and this is your homework. You should read all of it and anything you can put your hand on about the ArchIso, you need to read it. Or watch the videos, for instance, on YouTube. So with this information, we should be able to make and build ourselves an ISO, and that's what we're gonna do. We're also gonna make ourselves a GitHub. So the GitHub ArcoLinuxIso, I've already made some attempts prior to this. That's why I saw the URL already there. So we're going to sign in here and then make sure everything is set up. We're gonna make some GitHubs, and we're gonna work in phases. So we're gonna call it Carly 1, Carly 2, Carly 3, etc. So over time you will see different versions. You'll follow tutorials one by one. You'll see what we change, and in the end we'll get something usable, an ISO, an ArchIso, that you can make yourself, your own distribution, or your own ISO for yourself, just for you or a friend, and that's it. Anything is possible. So we need to figure out what this ArchIso is. It's a small set of bash scripts capable of building a fully functional Arch Linux live CVD. So basically, guys, ArchIso is being used by these guys, right? We all go to this link here and download the ISO from ArchLinux. That's the result. That's what they create with this ArchIso script. So it's a fully functional thing, but it's not going to put any image online. It's the real thing, the real ArchLinuxIso. That's as an end result. What we're going to do is follow some links, read some links, and also, of course, get into practice of things. ArchIso is now at version 42. You can click on here and follow links and see who is maintaining it. View the list for the package, but I'll show you another list, and that's the one on your own machine. That's more interesting than the one in here. And there are two profiles, so let me move this guy over here and tell you that you should actually start installing ArchIso. So if you have already installed an ArcoLinux B, or if you have built an ArcoLinux B, is better, then ArchIso will be already installed. So go ahead and install ArchIso. Since this is my third attempt already to make a video, it was already installed, but going through the motions, ArchIso is now installed. Fine. I suggest you go to this button here, and that's the pacman button, and then you go and see to the word Archiso. Click on it, see the dependencies maybe. So if you install it, it's going to install this to build an ISO, or burn an ISO, build an ISO. And links is something to actually browse the net without anything graphical. So it's for TTY usage. So there's a very important application, make me an ArcoLinuxIso. That's the application, and that's what's going to be run later on. There is also the hooks that's going to be used in the init CPIO. So different kind of hooks that we can see, and there are profiles in the configs. We have a baseline and we have a relang. So those things are important, and of course all the readmes. So if that's installed with Archiso, it means you can read it. Go read it. That's your homework. User share Archiso configs, the relang here and the baseline here. Remember, learning is much faster if you can compare things, and then you see, oh, what's the difference between this one and the other one. You just click it and you see the difference here. You see? Like so. We're going to use the relang version, so let's move that guy over here again. So what they are saying is we have two profiles. If you wish to create a fully customized live version of Arch Linux pre-installed with all your favorite programs and configurations, okay, we need to use relang. That's clear. And we need to copy paste the profile of your choice to a directory. So this guy needs to be copy pasted over. So this content of the profile being then relang is needs to be copied over to something called ArchLive, in our case Carly1. If you use the relang profile, then you can go on and so on. So let's get cracking. I need to go and sign in here, so let's pause here for a moment. All right, I just signed in, and I am gonna create a new repository. I had already created a name, and it was Carly1, I believe. So this is going to be my GitHub on ArcoLinuxIso, the first one we are creating. This is my URL, copy pasting it, and inside ArcoLinuxIso I'm gonna git clone, Ctrl+Shift+V, my GitHub. Now the GitHub, I have some packages that are useful and interesting. Any of our GitHubs have a little text that's in here. The Git is an interesting one. The readme is one, and setup. So Ctrl+C, and then in here Ctrl+V. There's already something that's interesting. This should be, of course, executable. I believe it is, but just showing you how easy it is. And this one is, of course, not that one. ArcoLinuxIso, and this is Carly1. Save. So we have now a GitHub. Okay. The only thing, these are just for maintenance and setup and all that. So the first time you do that, you make sure that you have your own name is in here. So Eric Dubois is probably not correct, and neither is this one. So you just run it once on a computer. So after a clean installation, the first time you run this thing, and then it's done. You never need to run it again, ever, until you do a clean install. And this one is going to push everything to the net. So if we say push it to the internet, then we say here first commit, for instance, and they need to, well, normally you need to log in, etc. But I had already typed that in. So that's that. We have here just a general start, a kickoff, ArcoLinuxIso, Carly, maybe a big I in here later on. And this is one to push it to the net, and this is to set it up one at a time one time, and that's okay. Now, that's still has nothing to do with Archiso. We need to copy paste everything that's in the profile over to the folder Carly1, which in this case is called ArchLive. Here it is. So copy the profile of your choice to a directory, ArchLive, in the example below. So every time you see something called ArchLive, like here, you know it's actually Carly and then a number. Well, I'm gonna do it in a different way. I need to teach you something about GitHub and about permissions. So what I'm gonna do is go and look for all the information. So the user share archiso. Let's first that configs relang. So everything that's in here needs to go there. So that's it, copy paste. So Control C, Control V, or just drag, because this is protected and this is not. So this thing is actually commit number 2. So we have our relang copied. Okay, up, and everything is online. Everybody can follow. It's going to be online now. Okay, relang copied. Okay, what's next? I want to make some mistakes so that later on we figure out how to fix those mistakes. Now, before I go any further into details, there were other folders you need to take a look at. I believe it was in the docs, and if it's not in the docs, I don't see any docs here. Then we need to see again, where was it again? So Archiso, click, double click files. So user share, still a bit down, user share doc. Okay, so user share doc. I thought it was doc, so I must have skipped it here. Here it is, Archiso. So you see, a lot of information is on your system, documentation is on your system without you maybe knowing it. So Archiso is the same. It provides information. I am not seeing it. Here it is. So homework, read it all. Read everything, every thing here. Open it with Sublime Text, for instance. Go read it. So there's something about the transfer, known issues, information about the build. Okay, and see if it all makes sense. I'll reread it and reread it. It's well, your to do. Close all files, close without saving, done. That's that for now. Yeah, that's enough. There's also another folder you can have a look at. That's the init CPIO, and if you really want to read already, arch init CPIO, if we know that's the one, go read this one if you want to know more about that. Now, the thing is, at this point in time, we are already ready to build a package. It's as easy, a package, I mean an ISO. We can actually build it as of now. Now, there will be some errors, and I want to make those errors with you. Okay, so the idea is that you, well, let's have a look. Do we see some information here? So they are telling me to copy paste. We've done that. Let's go into the detail maybe a little bit before building that. This is the file where all the packages are selected. So this is the selection that Arch Linux says this is what you need to boot up and install Arch Linux. And it's basically the same thing that we do in ArcoLinuxB. Any of them have also a packages list, and we of course have a longer list because we want to have fonts, and I want to have games, and I want to have this and that. So it's a longer list, but basically it's the same file. It's just the file that says go get those things and put it on the ISO. Now that's that. So the make init CPO is this thing you should have a look at. So, oops, that's another new tab here. So I wanted to make it bigger. So take a look at this. I'm not going into detail as of now. The pacman conf is what you should know already in your etc folder, file system, etc. Everything works with pacman because there's a pacman.conf, and the pacman.conf is the one that's telling you where everything is. And in ArcoLinux we have some more repos, but if you just stay with Arch, then you have these guys, right? So it's the same file as that one. So told you everything except of course this one. We'll end with that one. And the archiso root file system acts kind of like an overlay. So whatever is in here is going to go on the ISO. So you know we have an etc, right? You know we have a root. It's the same thing. It's the future folder of your ISO, of your system, of your Linux system. So in here is lots of other things. Those things will go on your ISO. Whatever going to be in here is going to be on your system. Okay, so that's also important. And these three guys are better treated later. So these are guys for the EFI to boot up and to have, what's this again? The syslinux to boot up, and the other one was for all the messages, so all the lines you get when you do a splash PNG. When you see this thing, all these lines come up here, and those lines are actually coming from here. All right, so Kali1, that's set. Okay, the root inside the root is also a very important one, and that's the customize archiso root file system. So with this thing you can actually improve, change, adapt things that on your future system. So on your root file system of Linux, you can say I want to have this and that, link me to this one, etc. Copy paste everything from etc scal to root, etc, etc. So all these commands, like you do in bash in a terminal, can be done, and then your system will be ready, right? It's all the customization for your system that's going to be in here, which is very important, which is also in most systems very long and very specific. Okay, last thing, build sh. So let's see if I have not forgotten anything. So go ahead and read everything. So we have all information here, the packages, installing packages. We're not going to use the custom local repository, which means only you can do it. That's a little bit silly. If you want to make an education or a video for a project for future developers, you need to have a repo that's online that everybody can use. So having a custom repository just on your PC, yeah, that's of course possible, but that's not our goal. We'll do these things later, and that one as well. I'll explain those things later. And here we are already. So when you have your folder, which in my case is Kali1, you need to do this one, build sh and then verbose. So verbose means a lot of verbs, a lot of words. So give me more information. That's the -v often in the commands as which the rest is okay. So basically we are ready to make a build for the first time already. So we haven't changed a lot of things. You'll see we'll have made mistakes, but that's okay, that's cool. We are going to build the sh. It's better to maybe to open it before we build it. So this is the genuine thing. I haven't changed anything. So maybe it's a good thing that we scroll through it. That's in the video. We'll add lines to it. We'll add changes to it. Okay. So a lot of information is in here, and these things are, well, functions. And I believe at the bottom he says run this, run that, and run it once, just once. So he's going to go over every function up here, run once this, run once that, and okay, let's do it step by step. I'm gonna do another mistake, which I would not type normally, but what if we just type build me? It says the script must be run as root. Now it's important to see already that you can set ISO names and all that. Default is Arch Linux, default is the day of today, default is this, etc, etc, all information. So if you don't change anything, that's the default. So that's the first thing you'll do if you want to have a new ISO later on, a name, in my case Carly, then I need to change something here. It should be called Carly, not Arch Linux, and so on and so on. Another thing I'm not gonna run now is -v, which I would do most certainly to have a verbose output. So what happens if you don't do it? Well, let's show it in the video. So run build sh. If it's not a small thing, meaning if it's not executable, open terminal ls-al. So green means execute, but if there's no coloring on your system or a different kind of coloring, it's all about the X's that are here, execute. So all these guys can be executed. This is our maintenance for our GitHub. This is the thing that comes from the Erlang profile. So when I say build sh without -v, this is going to be your output. Not much verbose at all, but you see here something is going on, and maybe at the when you look at this guy here, you'll see it's moving as well. We do not see the processes. Yes, we do. We see here the processes going on, but it's actually quite calm. So you can see through here if all CPU cores are going to be active when it's going to make an ISO. This is still quite low in intensity for a CPU. When it's making the ISO, all CPUs kick in gear, I think they say, and then it's hands-on for the machine, and then we'll wait for the ISO to pop out. Now in the meantime, we can already say some things. So this build sh is going to launch different kind of things. You can look at some words, maybe make archo, make arch ISO. That's one of the things that is quite important. Make arch ISO. It's gonna copy paste stuff from init CPO, so the information that's there is going to get it. Okay, make arch ISO again, copy a lot of stuff over, copy, 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 a lot of copying going on. So that every file is in the in the right folder and not in the wrong one. And that's your information here, build sh, which means, so we still have to wait, so let's have a quick look at user bin make arch ISO. This is your program, this is your application. Make arch ISO is going to run all of this, which in turn is going to run other applications and other elements from I believe it was mentioned here somewhere, that are based on Arch Linux scripts or somewhere. Here, the Arch install scripts. So it's going to use parts of that as well, I believe. So the Arch shroot, genfs tab, backstrap is the one he's going to use. So it's going to make things, let's see if backstrap is in here, 2 times. So here is a backstrap, installing stuff in here. if I don't explain things, just do pacman backstrap or backstrap minus helper or minus h or something like that. So install packages to a specified new root directory. It's designed to create a new system installation from scratch. The specified packages will be installed into a given directory after setting up some basic mount points. By default, host systems, pacman assigning keys and mirror list will be used to seed the root. Alright, so maybe this is Chinese, but in the end, in a few months and weeks, I mean, you'll get it. Alright, we have something. So it's that easy, but as you can see, the output is from here till here. So it's a very small, how do I say that, footprint. We don't see a lot of information, and that's why the minus v is not there. So never mind, let's have a look what we had, of what we have now. Carly1 has two extra things. You can investigate that as well. So this is what we had. This is what we had, this is what we had, this is what we had. Out and work are new. Work is where everything has been, well, okay, work directory. So it needs to have a place to build its own Linux system. And here is another one, not here, here's another one. Okay, so this is the one that we have. Let me see again here. So this is one, all right, fine. Okay, and the out one is what we need. So this is ArchLinux. Basically, we haven't changed anything. What we've done is we made one of these guys. Instead of 2019 10.01, we've made one of 2019 10.05. So 5 days of new applications, or in maybe 5 megabyte more, I don't know. So that's what we created at this point in time. Now there are some issues still to iron out. If you take a look at this guy, well, no, let's do that later, one by one. So super F7, loading Carly1, gonna look for it. It's in my ArcoLinuxIso, Carly1, in my out, I have something. I boot it up. It's of course on the other screen. And there we go. We have an ArcoLinuxIso, and we can boot this ArcoLinuxIso, and off we go. Control F, full screen. Okay, other screen now. Again. I always forget the trick. I think it's like this. Yeah. So this is our ArchIso. It just looks the same as the one that we download. If we are on phase 5, arcolinux.com, arcolinux.com, we see phase 5, and we install ArchLinux. That's it. That's this thing. Now we need to make all these changes explained there. So that's what we've created until now. Now maybe I can stay in here. No, let's go out here. I want first to explain you something else. It would be better if we do this, -v. -v means give me verbose, but we have a problem. No, is that correct? Okay, now it's correct. Oops, what's this? I can't do anything, you see? The problem is I can't run this thing. Now the reason why we can't run this thing is because of the fact that it's already containing a folder out and a folder work. What if I delete these two guys, if I delete them, then I can build again. So what if we make a Control-C, Control-V, call this guy clean up, and instead of all this thing here that's in here, let's remove the folder out. Since it's a folder, you want to be recursive, and you want to remove -r work. So these two guys need to go. Let's put that guy here. Okay, so this one needs to go, that one needs to go. Problem is, these guys are actually not from you. These guys are from root. All right? So that's not gonna work. Sudo. Okay, now we've seen that, we can say, okay, let's try to clean it up. And what's going to happen, these two folders are now gone. We are back to what we used to have. And while I'm thinking about it, when I want to push it to the internet, and I do again open terminal and I do a git, okay, and I do an update, then my cleanup version is already there, which is now online. But I wanted to do the following. I want to make sure that the work and the out folder never ever go online. Otherwise it will be 600 megabytes that go online. So on GitHub, I make a file, create document, git ignore please, Control H. It's a hidden file, so Control H. It's a git folder. Okay, git ignore. Never ever put work or out online. So if there's a folder work, if there's a folder out, don't put them online. That's basically what I've just done. And we can put that online, and what we see, nothing. So test, right? Git ignore is going online. Oh, could have made better text, but hey, it would be the fourth time otherwise for this video. That's enough, 3 times. So test is on there. We can have a look, and you'll see on here that we get all these commits coming on. So the last commit was a wrong text, this one as well. I'll do better next time. So we have the git ignore work and out online. So it's going to skip it. If I forget to clean it, it's not gonna go online. Then another thing that I wanted to do is actually show. Okay, so if we clean everything, Control H, hidden again. If we've cleaned it, will it then build again? So this one again, and this is the verboise kind of look, and that's, I believe, much better. It shows you more information, what's going on. It's going to install packages to work. There you go, and visit it. x86. Something is going to go in here, is installing that. Okay, to the archiso root file system. And you can try and see, okay, what's going on. You can also open up etc and see 91 items. I suppose there will be more and more items down the line. After installation, you'll see it go up, 94 items. So things change while he's trying to build your future ISO system. He's going to address all the things that in the what's inside the build sh. 105, 106 items he's installing in this Linux directory system. So we're following, the script is just following what it's told to do, and that's running this build sh. And when you run this in ArcoLinuxB, I've put in some more text, I've put in some more colors, but basically it's the same thing. Sorry. And the only thing we have to do is, well, follow along and see where it is, and it's going to run function after function. So basically it starts at the bottom. It's going to start with this, and then the packages, and then make init CPO, and customize archiso root file system, the boot texture, and so on, until it's going to make the ISO. That's the last thing it's gonna make the ISO. You see? make ArchIso and so on with the name you like to have it. So if you don't like to see this text, but that's for later, you delete it. It's not there. Let's wait for this to finish. So we have a work is going to be created, but we do not have an out folder yet. So we have to wait for the out folder, and this is still the where can we see it somewhere? This is the customize ArchIso root file system thing that's running, which generate these guys. And now we're making our ISO, and this you can see here, it's all hands on deck for the Dutch people, meaning everything, all processors need to work now very hard to get things done. Right, let's wait for the creation here. Well, actually, let's just keep recording. You'll just see what time it is. It actually takes no time at all to build something this small. How big was it? 600 megabyte or less. So we do not have that much packages. It's around 66 packages, but in the end you end up with a little bit more than that. We'll see it when it's done. Voila, there it is already, so quickly. So if you want to see how many packages it has, you double click this ISO, scroll up, open it up. This is what's the end result, and here we have 268 packages in the end. So that's the result of these, how many was it? 66 to 268, so 6 times 4, so explodes by 4 or 5. Okay, so you can have a look what ArchIso did. It created all of this. So the Arch is here, the package list is here. Here we have our system, so the etc, the root file system in the future, or future Linux system, that's this guy. And all the things to be able to boot up with the Linux kernels and all that, that's in here and created because of ArchIso. We don't need to know a lot of things about it. It just needs to work. Okay, we need to be able to change the names, because I want to name it Carly, right? You want to name it as your future distribution. So yeah, we need to change some names, but as long as it works, we don't care. We unmount this thing and let's have a look. So we had this verbose thing on. Does this change anything on our ISO? I suppose not. So double click. It's still the same reference, the same place where the ISO is, but this is a new ISO that we built. And everything still looks quite normal. Up, and there we are. So that's gonna work as well. Now, maybe one last thing, and then we call it quits for this video. That's the fact that we're going to forget to type -v. We are going to forget that. So we could say, I could open the build sh and take a look at this verbose thing. So we can actually say, where is that again? Control find verbose. Let's see. So -v enable verbose outputs. Okay, so this is the variable verbose. So my guess is verbose equals -v. If we can say to the system here -v, save. This is our first change that we've made. Maybe we should make a record or something. Carly change 1 or something, or just change, otherwise we'll forget the numbering later on. Just Carly. Well, just Carly is okay, right? So we know that the line beneath it is changed. -v is something that we've done. We save it, So from now on, I can forget typing the -v and just say, let's do the mistake again. Sudo build sh -v, you can forget. It's the other mistake, I mean, you can't build anything. Why? Because the building script is made like that. You need to clean first. So clean up. That's that. Up, and we're running again. And as you can see, it's this -v. It has this lot of documentation. And that's where I want to leave you for our first video. We are able already to build our own ArchLinuxIso. We don't need to download it anymore from archlinux.org. We can actually install it ourselves. We have not added any packages to it, but we've just, well, made everything easy to work with. With a GitHub, we can clone, we can clean up everything. We can build it with Verbo settings, standard, and we'll proceed from there. All right, enjoy.